Season is that you finally, for some guys, yes, for some guys, no, Nick Castellanos, we're looking at you. But the Phillies are coming off of a sweep against the Colorado Rockies. We had our post-game show Wednesday night, and we welcome you back into PHLY Phillies podcast. Tyler Zulli, Jamie Lynch, myself, Renee Washington. We'll have Jim Salisbury joining us later on in the show as well. And we've been able to talk through yesterday's game. Now we've had a night to sleep on it, get some more, nuggets and bolts of information. And today we're carving it up again. We'll talk through the Phillies series, but also start looking ahead to the White Sox. I know you guys are already in the chat saying free Herb. Hopefully Herb continues to struggle this week, unfortunately. But you can, maybe we can send him some free drinks. I like that idea. Chris Slemmer, first in the chat, as always. Darth Pooh, Dave Dorr, Philly 007, Matt Deckert, Mickey. Who else is here? Provolone John, what's up, everybody? Xmas Critters, I love that name. Happy Thursday. Happy Phillies Day off. A lot of games, a lot of teams off today. Phillies are one of them, Jamie.
Yeah, no Phillies tonight, no Sixers tonight, so that means it's catch up on TV with the wife night. So we'll probably, I think we have a curb or two left to finish off the season. I have a couple gentlemen's to catch up on. And then I watch Shogun solo, usually when she goes to bed before me. So it might be one of those catch up on TV nights a little bit for me. How about you? What are you going to do with the
I don't know, actually.
The off night? What are you going to watch?
Gosh,
you going to go out and hit town? What's in store?
I went out earlier this week, I can't go out too many times through the week.
Galling last week?
That's true. Tonight would have been a great night for the gala, actually, the evening gala. But no, I think tonight might be, it's kind of, I feel like it's a nice day to just lay low, put on the jammies, maybe watch some TV as well.
You don't Hallmark this time of the year, do you? Okay, well, that answers that.
Hallmark has done a really good job of providing year-round seasonal content. So right now we're getting spring movies.
What's DJ Tanner up to these days? Is Kimmy Gibbler hosting her own shows?
She hasn't been on Hallmark as much lately. It's still our...
Does Topanga have her own Hallmark show? Who else is...
It's Lacey Chaubert.
Yeah,
she's
that
a
Party
Hallmark.
of Five?
She's a Hallmark regular, for sure. Okay. But it is now time for, we're getting to spring with,
flowers are blooming and so is the love.
You get it.
Oh,
you totally
it's almost like anybody could write for Hallmark.
Ha ha ha. But no, I don't mind admitting, yes, I have become a year-round Hallmark fan. I'm not gonna lie. They've hooked me. It's winning. And who else is winning? The Phillies, guys, because they are over 500 right now. They are in a better spot, even though it's been some ugly games. And with it being warmer, and as we are getting into spring and love is in the air, Hallmark season, that also means it's starting to get closer and closer to hitting season. Now, last night felt like the start. As I was watching the first inning, I was like, oh, is this happening? Is it happening? Is it time? Guys, hitting season. Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner got the memo that it's hitting season. And when you look at the numbers from last night, after having a chance to deep dive some more, very, very impressive, starting with Kyle specifically. Kyle, Brandon Marsh, two of the guys, Alec Boehm's creeping in there too. That are really winning me over here. I love the way that Kyle's playing. I love the fact that he's feeling good. He's been talking about, fortunately the knee in a much better spot. Didn't need to have any procedures or anything. Just did some great rehab this offseason. Being an everyday DH, you see it paying off. Now, Kyle, last night with that multi-home run game, he now has put himself, that was his first multi-homer game since August 18th. His 26th of his career, and also has him in a great spot of a list that I stumbled onto, Sarah Lang's put out, the most career multi-home run games out of the leadoff spot. You want to guess who's number one across Major League Baseball? Most career multi-home run games out of the leadoff spot.
I'll go with Mookie.
Oh, is that your final answer?
Like active or
active?
Active.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go Jose Altuve.
Oh, that's not bad longevity. I'll go Mookie for the.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
it is Mookie
right.
with 26. Number 2, you want me to just give it to
Kyle
you?
Schwarber.
He's on this list. Yes.
Jose Altuve.
No.
He does hit 2 a lot.
Well,
so
Yeah.
what's his name? Hit leadoff for a little while. Aaron Judge.
No. I feel like this is one of Tyler's.
One
Somebody
of
you
Tyler's
talked about,
dudes?
like pretty.
I mean, is it Ronald Acuna?
No.
Oh, he just got his first home run the
You
other
guys haven't
night.
guessed anybody on the list outside of Kyle.
Stanton's not on there at all? Or not Stanton,
No.
Judge?
Nope.
One of my guys?
Nope. I feel like this is a guy you talk about pretty like.
Julio Rodriguez hasn't batted leadoff ever.
No.
Corbin Carroll's too young.
Oh, maybe I stumped you guys with a little.
Altuve.
Nobody in the chat knows it either.
Marlins, no. Braves, if it's not Acuna.
I mean, is it Bobby Witt?
No.
I don't know. I'm just.
All right. Mookie
You
Betts
you
number 1 with
said
26.
guys I talk
George
about a lot.
Springer. I feel like he's like
Springer.
a middle of the pack guy you talk about relatively often, Tyler.
I think Jamie's a George Springer guy.
I like George Springer.
Okay, so maybe he's more Jamie's guy. He's number 2 with 20. Alfonso Soriano, number 3 with 19.
Wait, I thought we were
Kyle-
talking about active.
Soriano's.
Oh, my bad. Oh, I forgot you guys asked
Now
that.
Springer is
Kyle
active.
Schwarber is 16, and then Brady Anderson 14.
Brady Anderson.
Brady
man.
Anderson probably had 13 of those in the one
I was
season
going to say, he loved him some steroids that year. My God. I have to look it up because it always makes me laugh. I forget what the jump is, but it was like something like 19 home
54,
runs
didn't he?
to 54. It always makes me laugh when I look it up. Brady Anderson. Oh, that's, man loves some steroids.
Yeah. So, okay, not active. I missed that question. My bad. But,
so
yeah,
he
it
went-
was only 50.
He went from
my
16
bad.
to 50. 16 to 50 home runs in 1 year. Nothing to see here. Don't look my way.
no, but
Just
for,
an increase of 34 home runs.
for Kyle Schwarber to even be on this list, and everybody has, at times, ourselves included, questioned him in the leadoff spot.
No, he's been a great sign.
He's been a great leadoff spot guy, and it's just nice to see.
He's been a good.
This season, he's been better.
He's been good.
He's
He's
been
been pretty
better
good.
this
He's been pretty
season.
good.
It's still early, but he's been better this season.
They win
and
a
we're
lot
going
of
to
games
continue
with
this.
him in leadoff. Yeah, we all know the saying. And they also, try him out not in leadoff during his worst
His
months of
third
the year.
leadoff
And
home run of the season.
I think it's an inaccurate depiction, but that's fine. He's been a very good leadoff hitter. And now with Johan Rojas starting to get on base a little bit more and starting to swing the bat better, it really makes his you only bat leadoff once in the game. We all know the sayings. But when Johan Rojas is getting on base for him, it certainly makes it a little sexier with him at the top of the order.
It definitely does.
So like you need the bottom of the order to justify him at the top of the order.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a kind of a cruel marriage in that way. But Johan Rojas, the last 10 days, 2 weeks, ever since we put a date on, you're gonna have to learn how to speak Amish, buddy. He's really stepped it up, and I think it's a sign of them and Kevin Long, the hitting coach, saying okay, we've done enough thinking. We worked all off season on the thinking. Time to shut that brain off and go attack. And I think Johan has responded really well to that. Again, we talked about it last night. The double off the left center field wall. His bat didn't look like it was going through. He wasn't swinging through sand anymore. He actually had decent bat speed on that. And hopefully we'll start seeing some, 98 to 100 mile an hour exit velocities from him.
Yeah, I mean, to see Johan get on base 3 times last night. He had a walk in second, a double in the 6th, the single in the 8th. Of course, he also, off of Kyle Schwarber's home run, scored. He's contributing. That's more than you could say
He's been
about
really
some
good.
other guys. And this is exactly kind of where you expect Johan Rojas to be at this point. And it's nice to see him finally being able to just focus on just playing. And it did definitely start in the St. Louis series when you look at his numbers.
He had that
And
one
since
really
then-
nice game, yeah.
Exactly.
Was
We
he
had
3
3
for
hits.
4?
Exactly. So he, in the St. Louis game, had 4 hits total between the 3 games. We saw him get a hit in the 2 games against Pittsburgh that he played in. He's at least getting a hit. He's getting on base. He's contributing something. He's getting some walks. I mean, that's back-to-back games where he had a walk.
If you're a pitcher
So-
and you walk Johan, you got to feel pretty bad about yourself, I would think.
Yeah.
But that's a great sign of things to come. And before I tell you about our friends over at Mortgage CS, I had one more Kyle Schwarber number for you, Renee.
Oh.
This was in the Phillies media release last night. Now, Schwarber became only the 3rd active player to hit 250 home runs in his first 1,000 games in Major League Baseball. Can either of the two of you guess
Aaron Judge.
the number 1 and number 2? Aaron Judge
Is number
Can
one.
you-
is number 2.
Can you
Oh,
repeat
dang
the
it.
question?
I was
Kyle
ready.
Schwarber became only the 3rd active player in Major League Baseball to have 250 home runs in their first 1,000 games.
Mike Trout.
There's 2 people ahead. She got number 2, which was Aaron Judge. Number 1 is up for
It's not
grabs.
Mike Trout.
250 home runs in their first 1,000
oh.
games. Is it
No.
is it a teammate of Aaron Judge?
It is.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Giancarlo Stanton is number 1. Aaron
Guy
Judge
hit
is number 2.
bombs in Miami.
Yeah,
That's
he did.
impressive.
I believe, now I'm pulling this stat off the top of my head. I believe Giancarlo Stanton still holds the Marlins home run record, and he hasn't played there since since 2010 or something. Like he still has
Insane.
by far and away the most home runs as a Marlin, and he hasn't played there in 6 years now? 5?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they've not had
They haven't had a home
a
run.
consistent power threat outside of like Jorge Soler, but he wasn't there all that long.
He was there 2 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jake Berger seems to be a guy who's got some pop, but
get
Yelich
healthy
had a
for my
little
fantasy
pop
team.
early on.
but he really didn't start to take off until he was with Milwaukee.
and
He was
Azuña was
knocking
there
stuff
for
over.
a cup of tea, wasn't
Right,
it?
and that's the thing is it's a bunch
Yeah.
of these guys who have good stuff,
Yeah.
but they've got good pop, but they're not there very long, and then they get
Azuña
moved.
didn't boom until he started cheating in Atlanta with all those cheating Braves. Oh, everybody's just having a historical season.
You're a
oh,
hater.
out of nowhere.
You're a
yeah,
hater.
Nothing to see here. No, we're not cheating. You know who's not going to cheat you in the game? You want these people having your back in the game, as a matter of fact. That's our friends over at Mortgage CS. Because Mortgage CS, if you've ever gone through the mortgage process, the buying home or selling home process, or even just like refinancing a home equity line of credit you might have, it sucks. There's a lot of paperwork. You feel like you don't really speak the language that the banks and mortgage companies speak. So you want somebody in your corner that can kind of, if you're me, just dumb it down for you a little bit and make it a manageable process. And Mortgage CS is a white glove concierge service. And what they want to do is like empower and educate you. So you don't feel like people are, Charlie Brown teacher voice while you're having your Zoom conferences to close your mortgage. They'll help you get ready for the process. They'll help you clean up any blemishes that might affect you getting a better rate down the line, whatever it may be. I took a HELOC out on my house to do a kitchen project. I've been meaning to reach out to them to talk about ways to, maybe refinance or get a better rate. Alec and Ben want you to think of Mortgage CS when you hear the word mortgage. You can save Ben's phone number. It's right there on your screen, 267-391-7425. I trust these guys so much, I sent some family members to them, and they're having a great experience so far. So that's his phone number, 24 hours a day. Even if you want to say, dude, I'm freaking out because Embiid had a so-so game last night and he looked dogged for 3/4 of the game. If you just want to talk Sixers, you want to talk Phillies, Eagles, whatever it may be, you can text him anytime. You can email Ben at mortgagecs.com, or you can call, text Ben any time of the day or night just to talk Philly sports if you want. Check out mortgagecs.com/PHLY to get started. They have exceptional customer service. And this advertisement is a commitment to lend or extend credit, is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Mortgage CS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLSID. It's a tricky one. NMLSID. 1464766 NMLSID. Visit mortgagecs.com for more information.
Well,
NMLS
if you're
ID.
struggling to maybe read a little bit, you need to go find some
NMLS.
new reading glasses, some over-the-counter prescriptions, some snacks, whatever it is. You can go to Rite Aid for that. It is allergy season. Yes.
Ooh,
while
everybody's dying in the
hitting season
office.
is heating up. So is allergy season. It's picking up. The pollen is out there sniping you guys, myself included. Pollen from trees, grass, weeds. It's getting us, guys. It's got the congestion, the itchy throat, the coughing, the brain fog, the headaches, the sneezing, the itchy red eyes. Some symptoms are worse than others. I'm glad I don't have the itchy red swollen eyes.
Oh, I was around a dog yesterday. My eyes are still burning.
Yeah, well, you know what? If your eyes are burning, Jamie, you can go to Rite Aid and get some over-the-counter
It used to
medicine.
be my neighborhood
They've got
pharmacy.
some Flonase. They've got some great different allergy products, whether you're a Zyrtec or Claritin person or Benadryl, depending on how serious your allergies are. So Rite Aid has a lot for you to help relieve the allergy season. They even have tips for you. You can sign up for their Rite Aid rewards. You can get alerted with pollen alerts in your area. We also have different tips like making sure you're staying indoors, keeping your windows closed, pumping that AC, removing your shoes and coats when you walk in the door to make sure you're not trekking, piling through your house. But also outside of their over-the-counter medications and vaccinations and immunizations that they have, you can also find some snacks and some libation. They've got some great drinks. They've got some great food for you.
cream.
I love that Rite Aid has everything. I go in there, I end up just walking the aisles. I'm like, what do I want to get? They've got random knickknacks. They also have seasonal things for you. Some nice spring decor right now that you can have, or maybe some summer stuff as you're starting to plan for, outdoor activities when we're clear of the allergy season, of course. So you can visit your local Rite Aid today, stock up on allergy relief, or even just catch up on those immunizations. RSV, shingles, and more. And you can walk in, you can schedule a vaccine appointment, all at riteaid.com. Well, we do have Jim Salisbury joining us halfway through the show. Before we get into just talking with Jim some other numbers for you that came out after last night. Aside from Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, another one that's been rolling. He's hitting a .425 with 6 extra base hits in his last 10 games. We know JT's been looking pretty steady. He's hit safely in 6 of his last 7 outings. Of course, we saw him also have the impact of driving in some important runs Tuesday and Wednesday. Bryce Harper's coming around, it feels like. With his at-bats we saw against the Rockies, he's breaking through. Unfortunately, one more, Brandon Marsh continues to be steady, hitting .288 with an .848 OPS. Nick Castellanos, unfortunately, is still struggling. We're not going to harp on him too much, though. I feel like I'm not. You can. I mean, listen, in this sweep against the Rockies, Nick Castellanos has a bagel in every category of anything offensive. Runs, hits, walks, RBIs, obviously. You're not getting that if you're not hitting the ball.
The only qualified player without an extra base hit.
He's the only one that also
this is crazy.
Didn't register a single stat. He had at-bats. He had in total 11 at-bats. And in those 11 at-bats, you got absolutely nothing from Nick against the Rockies. 3 strikeouts, and again, that's it. That's all his stats. That's all he gave us for 3 games.
Yeah. Rich Hoffman in the newsletter yesterday said, all the old heads are going to tell you that Nick Castellanos is approaching Steve Jeltz territory, and you never go full Steve Jeltz. Look, Jim was with us on Tuesday, and even Jim, just like when he came up in conversation, is like, Nick will come out of it. And everybody kind of says that. I've said it. Like, you've seen a good enough player on the back of his baseball card to believe that he's going to find a way out of this. At the same time, it's horrifying what you're seeing right now.
It's not good.
I think Christian Pache needs to get a couple games in right field. Maybe Nick can go do some ayahuasca in a hut and try to rediscover himself. Go on his eat, pray, love mission around Italy. Give him a week off or something.
Yeah.
And go make some pasta with a grandmother in Tuscany and see if he can find himself. Like something's. I'm concerned.
That was a super specific, come to Jesus moment, and I think that was way more of a manifestation of what Jamie wants to do.
Yeah,
as
just
opposed
go roll
to
some pasta with a grandmother.
So here's to day
that
one.
Seems like something you've got planned.
Day one of Scooby Doo. Nick Castellanos, where are you?
Yeah, it's
your at-bats are looking like doo-doo.
I mean, I'd like to believe he's going to come out of it, but part of me goes, well, shit, he's 30.
That's my song for the day.
3. How old is he now? 32, 33?
Yeah, he's
and
30.
That's typically, historically, when
he's 32.
32. He will be 33, whatever.
He'll be 33. He just turned 32 in March.
So we have a full year of 32.
He's a young 32.
Okay.
He's a whole month in.
I like Nick Castellanos. I like his honesty. I like his weirdness. I like his sluttiness with the buttons. I like his game when he's on. I thought he got overhated on last year. But this is getting a little tough to defend right now. I think you got to get Pache in there occasionally to give him a blow and just see if something Rob has shown you he'll try stuff, moving Marsh up in the order, et cetera, et cetera. I think Nick needs a couple days off. Yeah,
I think it's time. First of all, Darth Pooh, I have allergies right now. I can't sing. I can barely even talk higher than this octave. I'm going to let you rock though, because my jingle was catchy and you guys didn't give me props for it, but it's okay. I don't need that validation. I liked it. Nick has absolutely been struggling. I do think it's time to give him a day off just because it allows him to mentally just step away. Sometimes you're trying too hard, you're doing too much, And when you're having continuous bad performances, especially as you're seeing your teammates come out of it, like Johan's at-bats are better. Trey and Kyle are getting going. Brandon continues to be steady. Alec continues to give you something. We're seeing Bryson getting going. Everybody's getting going. Even Christian Pache had a chance to get a walk-off. Like, everybody's having their moments in their at-bats, except for Nick. And so I'd be all for giving him a chance to, you have today off. Maybe you take off.
Have a long weekend. Go with the family. Get some kids time
just
in.
Refresh.
Or maybe get Liam back in the ballpark. Maybe that's the secret sauce.
And that's the thing. It could be something personal. Maybe he needs a chance to
Liam, get to the stadium.
Connect with Liam and the fam or something. I don't know, but it is not. Right. It's not good at all. Unfortunately,
I don't recall ever seeing this. I'm actually going to ask Jim this because this is pretty wild. Now Nick is at 69 at bats on the season, which is very nice. His batting average is 159. Tyler, would you like to guess what his slugging is at?
159. He is the only qualified player without an extra base hit.
That is unbelievable.
No bueno.
His OPS is 386. His OPS plus is 11. He's almost a -1 WAR already.
Ooh.
And, we talked about, Mookie Betts being at a 1 WAR like 6 games into the season. Well, Nick is at a -1 WAR now and 69 at bats. You got to do something.
Well, there's a good question in the chat. What's up, Dev Milano? Great question. Emiliano, excuse me. Is Casty the Phillies' Tobias Harris?
Wow, Tobias stunk last night.
Well, Casty did too.
Yeah, it's probably a fair comp.
It might be a good comparison, actually.
Because Tobias was serviceable at times and probably better than
how much you got
most
him for.
Of the public thought of him. Overpaid. I think you can say that. Look, if Nick Castellanos gives you what he gave you last year, he's not overpaid. He's probably properly-ish paid. If he gives you what he's given you this year, these last 3 years of the deal look horrifying. So, yeah, it's probably a good comp to Tobias. Luckily, Tobias' contract is over after this year. Nick isn't. You have 2 more years after this, and you have to hope that he's going to come out of this because, once you get to like 100 at-bats, we're not that far away from that. And that's when I start to go, is he going to snap out of this?
That's the problem. And that's what happened with Tobias. Tobias kept progressively getting worse and worse. And you kept saying, oh, he just doesn't have the ball in his hands enough, or he's got to get more involved in the offense. You'd see it in sparks where it's like, oh, Tobias Harris is actually doing something. But for the big picture, no, he wasn't given anything. And some guys, I feel like, step up when everybody else around them is doing well and they can feed off of that. And some, I feel like, especially when they're so mental, just get caught between the ears. And now you're overthinking. It's like, dang, everybody's hitting but me. Everybody's doing well but me. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I don't want him to spiral, which is why I do feel like...
I think he spiraled.
And I feel like that's what's happening. Like, he seems like the type that doesn't handle adversity well. Like, I think Bryce is one, even when Bryce Harper's struggling, all right, he's going to do whatever it takes, the extra little things to get himself going. Nick seems like the opposite. Like, he seems like the guy, those teammates you have to pat on the back and give them, like, constant affirmations and reinforce them because it's a slippery slope. So I'm all for a day off. I know people in the chat were saying, give him a standing ovation.
No.
I think he needs some time off.
We've already done that.
Refresh, reset, and see if you can get back. Because sometimes you need a chance to just like step away and get yourself together and do something fun.
Yeah, when you want to do something fun, I would suggest getting some action in the game with our friends over at the BetPARKS Sportsbook app. They're the hometown sportsbook app, and you can get in the zone with the BetPARKS app. Money is in the moments. You got the Phillies coming up tomorrow night. Crochet, the pitcher for the White Sox, although they suck, his strikeout numbers are phenomenal this year. So maybe you want to look at a K's over for him. Maybe Castellanos, you want to, maybe you can bet 0 hits and make some money that way. Or maybe you think Bryce or Schwarber is going to keep, or Trey is going to keep the hot streak going and put one over the fence. You can get all that and more in the game. NBA, play-in tournament is wrapping up. Playoffs are starting this weekend, and BetPARKS and the Sixers are partners. So great things going on there with BetPARKS Sportsbook. Win your first $10 bet, and you can earn $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun, you love to win, you bet with BetPARKS. Download the app today and play along with us. Must be 21 or older. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That's such a great spot for those last-minute bets. And you know where else you can get some last-minute deals? That's over on the GameTime app, because the GameTime app provides you with great prices, last-minute deals for any sort of event you're trying to attend. Concerts, comedy shows, games. They've got tickets right there for you. And also they do a good job of even alerting you when there are some new tickets dropping in your area. If you've got, Bad Bunny coming in town, or you've got some tickets this summer for, I know it's going to be like Sierra, Missy Elliott. You want to go to that, right? Busta Rhymes, Timbaland.
Yeah.
There's a concert happening here in Philly. You got your Missy Elliott trash bags ready. I love it. You can go to the GameTime app to buy those tickets. And also, even if you want to get those last-minute deals to go to a game, because buying tickets should not be stressful. We cannot guarantee the game won't be stressful, but we can guarantee buying tickets won't be. They've got great options for you to find good seats, see those seats, but then also when you show up at the door, your tickets are right at your phone. You don't have to worry about Wi-Fi issues or pulling out paper tickets. You've got your tickets right on your phone, easy to scan and get inside. So you can browse to the GameTime app, check out the different prices that they have, and also using our code PHLY, you're able to now get a nice discount as well. So use the code PHLY, gets you $20 off. Download the app today, use that code PHLY, get a discount on those last-minute tickets, and get the lowest prices guaranteed. All right, well, we are guaranteed to continue talking some positivity, because there's a lot of great things. Aside from some of the minor hiccups, Nick, still looking at you. There are some great things going on with the Phillies right now, as they are heading into a nice day off. The White Sox series should be more chances to rack up some wins. And let's continue to rack up some nuggets and information and insight with our buddy Jim Salisbury. Welcome in now our PHLY contributor. Jim, nice to have you here. Happy Thursday. Last we spoke with you, Jim, we were talking about Ranger. Since then, you mentioned Ranger being an all-star. I kind of want to start there, because I want to say you were absolutely right. Ranger Suarez went out and had an incredible complete game. Shutout, looked phenomenal. Christopher Sanchez continued that last night, minus that one run he gave up early. Your thoughts on just those starting pitching and how it's been rounding out for the Phillies to look like one of the best in Major League Baseball right now?
It's the best in the National League, in fact. I think they're 12 quality starts out of 19. Really good. Lead the league at best ERA. Most strikeouts of the starting staff, most innings. So, the starting staff has really delivered. I'll admit, like, one of my questions coming into the season was, will there be a drop off after 1 and 2, or 1, 2, and 3? Because you really, Wheeler and Nola are quality. Ranger has had great pockets of success in his career, maybe not for that 6-month period, but it looks like he's ready to do that. So the question becomes, what's the drop off after 1, 2, and 3? Well, there really hasn't been any. You've gotten, 2 out of 3 have been very good from Spencer Turnbull. He's going to pitch on Friday night, and Christopher Sanchez continues to be eye-opening. Continues to be kind of a discovery. Obviously, it started last year. I remember when they acquired him in kind of a nondescript minor league deal. I remember talking to Matt Klentak, who was the GM at the time. And, there are different ways you acquire talent, and you target talent. This day and age, you use a lot of analytics in targeting guys. Well, Klentak, the day they picked him up, said, this was a pure scouting trade. Our guys put eyes on him, and they really liked him in A-ball. And the development people have done a great job with him. And he's come to the majors. He had a good year last year, gained a lot of confidence. And that's what I see right now, is a lot of confidence. And he's had, 4 starts. Last 2 have been quality starts, been terrific. Last night racked up, big strikeout totals and helped deliver them a win in a series sweep. He followed Nola. He followed Ranger, who had a good start. They all had good starts in that series. So starting pitching's been terrific 1 through 5. 1 through 5. And it's been really fun to see Christopher Sanchez emerge, much like it was fun to see over the years Ranger Suarez emerge and maybe now fully blossom. So Good job by Christopher Sanchez last night. Good job, couple in a row, and see if Spencer Turnbull can continue it on Friday night. Who knows? That might be, maybe his last start for a while, because Taijuan Walker is due back next week. But you can never have enough starting pitching, and right now starting pitching for the Phillies, excellent. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, absolutely. They've been phenomenal, Jim. And I do want to ask you about Taijuan Walker and kind of how you handle that. But while we're on Sanchez, last night, do you think his changeup is one of Major League Baseball's best pitches? Because some of the advanced numbers on his changeup last night, he threw it almost 31% of the time. He had a chase rate of almost 67% and a whiff rate of almost 41% on that changeup pitch. The advanced analytics last year said that changeup was one of the better pitches in baseball. Do we really have, like you said, an absolute gem in our hands here with Christopher Sanchez?
Well, I mean, over the last season and 4 starts this year, everything is indicating that you have developed a really good starting pitcher. I mean, he's not there yet. Just to get on a little tangent, I was really impressed with one of the things Trey Turner said after the game last night about how Sanchez is able to slow things down in key situations and execute a pitch, and that's kind of a learned skill for a young pitcher. When you're a young pitcher and you come to the major leagues, it seems like you're kind of a 16-year-old learning to drive on the Schuylkill. Everything's going a million miles an hour. So being able to slow the situation down and really execute is a valuable skill for a young pitcher. I mean, he's 27. He's not that young, but experience-wise, he's young. Do they have a budding gem? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, you cite the changeup. That starts with having that good fastball, 97, being able to locate that thing. Now you got to be ready for the fastball. Here comes the changeup. If you're not ready for the fastball, if you're looking for the changeup, you get beat on the fastball. It's just such a respected pitch in baseball, the changeup. Even in this era of power, changeup remains such a respected pitch among baseball people. And yes, you're right. He has a good one. 9 swing and misses last night. He can throw it out of the zone and get chase on it, get swings on it. And that's, a lot of that is you got to be ready for the fastball. And it's looking like a fastball coming out of that same slot, coming out of the same arm speed. So it's a good pitch, and he's a really he's becoming a heck of a young pitcher for the Phillies. It's been a few years now, but it's been a really nice pickup.
Yeah, and it's great to see how the rotation's rounding out. As you mentioned, top in the NL, also top in the NL in ERA with a 2.54 ERA and a 106 whip. And then also an impressive number that I saw, the Phillies starters have allowed a 207, 268, 325 opposing slash line, which is the lowest batting average, on base percentage, and slugging percentage allowed by any staff. And they also have the highest ground ball rate in the league. So as they're rounding out, it's been exciting to see the consistency from the Phillies pitchers, which now leads to the question about Taijuan Walker, because we have seen him progressing, getting back. He did have a start in AAA last week that he pitched 4 2/3 innings, did pretty well, had a 4-seam fastball that averaged about 91.1 miles per hour. But he's also been cleared to throw a bullpen session Friday. And there's a chance, as you mentioned, he's going to be activated from the IL as early as next week. So actually a little bit ahead of the projection of when he was supposed to return. So I know in the chat, Mickey was asking it, and Jim, I'm curious too. I know Jamie, you are as well. Now what do you do with Taijuan Walker? Spencer Turnbull's getting the start on Friday. He's been looking good. Taijuan is working back. What would you do?
I'd give Taijuan a chance to start. He pitched 172 innings for the team last year, which is great value in that. Obviously did not pitch in the postseason. But I think he's going to get a chance to start next week in Cincinnati when the turn comes up again. I mean, you projected him as a member of your starting 5. He just kind of wasn't ready to go out of spring training. Doesn't sound like he had enough throwing in the off season. And, he's benefited from this extra time. Can he pitch at 91, 92? We're going to find out. He's got that good split, but, you do need a little velocity to offset that. They're going to find out, but I think having pitched 170 plus innings last year, and, I'm still a believer there's great value in innings. I think he deserves a shot to get out there and see what you have. You're not going to lose Spencer Turnbull. He's a guy who can be a swingman. He can pitch out of the bullpen. And like I said, you can never have enough pitching depth. So he could become your sixth starter and stay in the bullpen for when you need a sixth starter. If knock on wood, if injury ever comes about or anything. But I think you give Taijuan Walker a look here, and not just one or two. You got to give him a little time to get going here. You signed him to be a starter, and you got to give him a little bit of look. And if it doesn't work, then you make a change. He goes to the bullpen, and Turnbull or somebody else comes back. But that's kind of the way I see it shaking out. There's nothing definitively been said, but that's kind of the way my feel is.
So, Jim, if Spencer Turnbull goes out tomorrow night, and let's say he deals, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, decent strikeout total. Obviously, Taijuan Walker's salary has a little bit to say of where he's going to pitch. Do you see a scenario not just because of the rash of UCL injuries around baseball, but because it is a war of attrition, it's such a long season. Do you see any situation where they can go to a 6-man rotation and maybe keep a Zach Wheeler on his regular rest, which he has said he prefers? Do you see that as a possibility for the Phils?
I don't. I think they would go with the 5-man rotation just because, keep Wheeler on his 5th day. Nola is very important. Keep him on his 5th day. He occasionally benefits from that extra day, but you get those early in the season with off days. I mean, they get an off day today. I think their plan would be to use the 5, to use the 5 guys and see where it goes and feel good that you have Spencer Turnbull as a swing man. He has some versatility, and you have that kind of depth. It's a long season, and if Turnbull goes out there tomorrow night and pitches great, hey, stand up and cheer. Like I said, you can never have enough good pitching, enough pitching depth. If he pitches well, he's going to solidify himself as a viable contributor in some role for the rest of this season, and it's a long season. So, to me, it's kind of a good problem to have too many pitchers, too many guys pitching well. Now it's up to Taijuan Walker to go out there and pitch well.
Yeah. Well, last one for me, Jim. I feel like every game and definitely every series, we've been seeing something different that's been a positive, that's been coming into form for the Phillies, especially since it is still April. Now with this day off, looking ahead to the White Sox series, coming off of the sweep, what is it that you hope we get from the Phillies aside from wins? What do you hope we get from the Phillies in terms of production in this series that you'd love to see them progress and elevate in their game?
Well, I mean, you kind of nailed it. Wins. That's what it's all about. And they're 3 games over 500 now. So they sweep the Rockies. I know the Rockies are a down team, but you can only play the team in front of you that night. And they went out and took care of business with really good starting pitching. In the last 2 nights, they really, they hit. They scored runs. They put up multiples of runs. They hit home runs. They had 9 extra base hits in the series. We were scratching our heads early. Where are the extra base hits? So they had 9 extra base hits in the series. That's a good thing. They got to 3 games over 500 when we were wringing our hands about a slow start. That's a good thing, especially when you frame it around the fact that they didn't get to 3 games over 500 last year until mid-June. So we're in mid-April, and they're 3 games over 500. So that's a good thing. Trey Turner, maybe, first few games kind of spun his wheels. Well, he's really gotten hot and swinging it really well. Kyle Schwarber swinging it well. To me, a real positive the last few days, even week. Johan Rojas just looks a little more comfortable, looks a little more like he's embracing some of these adjustments, and he's contributing a little bit, and I bet he feels good about himself. And last night, one of the things for a young hitter, one of the things I think he works on is pitch recognition. He picks up the spin on a hanging slider, and he just bat heads it off the center field wall. It really squared it up good, hit it hard, had another base hit the other way. But the thing that I thought was such a good sign on the double off the wall was, he picks up that hanging slider, stays back on it, and drives it. And as he's standing on second base, the fans give him this. It wasn't like a roar. It was like this polite, respectful ovation, almost like appreciative. It was like the fans were almost saying, "Hey, we know you're trying. We know you're working on things. We get it, and we appreciate it, and we're seeing progress." I thought that was the coolest thing of the night. It was really subtle. It was really quick, But it was kind of, to me, the coolest thing of the night. And it just shows, how much Philadelphia fans, they know the story, they know what's going on, and when it goes right, they're very, very grateful.
So Jim, I actually have two. One baseball question, and then one as we let you go. Do the Phillies actually have a closer right now? I know Jeff Hoffman took the spot once from Jose Alvarado. Rob Thompson before the year said, closer, no closer. I'm kind of okay with it, but I'd love for somebody to go out there and take the job. Has Jose Alvarado taken the job?
I think eventually, maybe, they haven't named him, but he's the guy that's going to emerge in that role eventually, and he's probably going to get the most reps right now. I think Rob early plays some matchups, but Alvarado's got all the ingredients to do it, but so do other guys. I think Hoffman could do it. I think Kirkland can do it, maybe with a little more experience and be really good at it. So, they've the last handful of years been reluctant to actually tab a closer. I mean, Kimbrel made the All-Star team last year, and I'm still not sure they ever recognized him as the closer. And I know he had struggles late and in October, but he was pretty good, first half of the season and really helping him keep afloat. But I don't know that anybody dubbed him the closer. He just was the closer. So I think they have a variety of guys who can do it. I think at some point Alvarado is going to be the guy that emerges there, but obviously with more experience, Kirkland could be the guy. Rob has just been very reluctant to name that guy. And it's not just this year, it's been previous years. Girardi was reluctant to name that guy, which is, there's some irony there because they were together with the Yankees with the best guy ever, Mariano Rivera, but they don't have that guy here. But they got some power down there. They got some guys who can do it. Confidence is everything in this game. You got to get on a roll. I don't care what role you're in, ROLE. You got to get on a roll, ROLL, and have some confidence in whatever role you're in. And, I think that's a huge thing in the closer position. I think it's a huge thing in starters. We've seen it in Sanchez. He looked like a very confident guy. And on the flip side, I think, you see it with a guy like Nick Castellanos. Maybe the confidence isn't there right now, but when the results come, he will be awash in confidence, and that's when he'll go nuts at the plate.
Yeah. All right. Last one for you, Jim. Now, Garrett Stubbs went on Foul Territory TV and said the new City Connect uniforms look like a sexy men's softball league uniform. What is Jim Salisbury's take on the new City Connect uniforms?
I agree. They look a little bit like a softball uniform. But, I understand what it's all about. I mean, MLB is a business, and they're always seeking new revenue streams. So they're hoping that these uniforms catch people's eye and people go out and plunk down their credit card and buy them. And at first look, it looks like people are doing that. So the City Connect uniform, is a success. I would say in that vein, because you're trying to sell merchandise. I'm just a big fan of the classic Phillies white with red pinstripes. Their home uniform with a red belt and red shoes. And the thing I love most about that classic white pinstripe is those two splashes of blue in the star. It really pops. But I understand it's a business, and a lot of teams are doing it, and I guess every team's going to do it eventually. A lot of folks don't get the color scheme. But the Swedish originally colonized Philadelphia, or had a colony here. That's why there's names like Swedesford and Swedesboro and
Church. I used to live right by.
So that's why the blue and gold is here in the uniform. And all I know is they look like Matt Sundin and Borja Salming, two great Swedish hockey players playing for the Swedish national team. We'll deal with them. Hey, we'll deal. If you don't like them, you'll like them a lot better if they put up wins.
He's got to win
Exactly.
in them. That's good.
If you win in them, everybody's going to love
If they're
them.
winning, we like them more.
If you winning cures everything. If you think they're the
Correct.
ugliest uniforms in the world, if they go 12-0 in them, I guarantee you're going to love them.
They'll be flying off the racks. People will be buying them left and right.
No question.
Yes. Well, we've got a splash of blue ourselves. I'm surprised nobody noticed that we're all wearing blue today. We're like the blue man and a woman group. But Jim, thank you so much for taking time to join us and chat with us with your thoughts on the series and how the Phillies have been looking so far. It's always a pleasure to have you.
It's my pleasure. Enjoy the off day. And, the Phillies got to keep cleaning up a little bit. The schedule is cooperative.
Yeah.
And then they go to Cincinnati and, see what happens there.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Have a great weekend, buddy.
All right, guys.
Later, Jim.
See ya. He mentioned them being above 500. Do you know at what point last year they were 3 games above 500?
May 2nd.
Nope.
June 18th.
I think it's June 12th. So,
There
to put
you
in
go,
perspective,
folks.
Nick Castellanos struggles. Bryce Harper was struggling. A lot of things have not been great. There's been far more positives to start this year than there have been negatives. So we have to keep that in perspective. It wasn't until June 12th last year, I believe, that they reached 3 games over 500. So things are good. Things are good.
That's a great.
We're not
I'm glad
Herb
you shared
and
that.
the White Sox show.
That's a thing.
We're not Susie and the Rockies show in Denver. We're
Ultimately,
very lucky.
Our biggest complaint is Nick Castellanos and the City Connect jerseys. And then Gregory Soto, and as I know Barbara Carroll mentioned in the chat earlier, like Gregory Soto's not that big of an issue in the bullpen.
He's probably the worst bullpen arm.
Yeah,
and you gave him a spot in a low leverage situation last night.
Correct.
And it's like you survived.
And if he's your worst, that says a lot about the bullpen.
Yeah.
Especially you've got Orion, Jose, Jeff, Matt Strom. You've got plenty of other options that are better. So I like that, Jeannie. That is a great perspective to
and
bring.
Rich said in the newsletter this morning, and if you're not subscribed to it, you really should on allphly.com. He said, I can live with Soto's blow up last night because it's about time the bats actually picked up the pitching staff. And I was like, perfectly said. Like, it was irritating. It was frustrating to watch. But now that you wake up, this morning out of it and you go, okay, yeah, that's fine. Better to happen there in an actual high leverage spot. So
Exactly.
All is well.
Exactly. And it's great to see finally the bats get going because some of these pitching nuggets, and I do want to share something on Zach Wheeler. We hadn't had a chance to share some of the nuggets on him. But Christopher Sanchez, I know, Tyler, you had shared with us, he's currently 6th in Major League Baseball and run value on his changeup, and the second highest usage rate of those qualified pitchers at 35%. Yesterday, in those 18 swinging strikes on 97 pitches, that's nearly double the league average. And I know Rob Thompson was talking about how great he was afterwards. His strikes, his fastball, his, back of the plate sliders, his poise, that he's just pitching so well. And another guy that's pitching well that hopefully will finally get a win for it, Zach Wheeler. Some of the things that have come out since that performance, since the game that the Phillies dropped again with Zach at the mound, are pretty bad. So prior to this series coming in, the Phillies pitchers had the second highest ground ball rate in Major League Baseball. They had, as an infield, 7 double plays in the first 16 games, 7 for 34, which is 21% converting grounders to double plays, 21%, which is the worst rate in Major League Baseball. And then specifically for Zach Wheeler, he had never even led. The numbers that he was,
That's wild.
It was really bad. And it's up
I'm
until
getting Cole
Trey
Hamels,
Turner's
PTSD chills.
Exactly.
Just give the man some run support, please.
Up until Trey Turner's home run that he hit, that was the lone lead that Zach Wheeler had. And I'm looking for the numbers now. There was something else that I had that I can't find about Zach. But either way, it's time to get these pitchers some support. It's time to help them out because they have been doing so well, top of the NL and definitely one of the top even across the league, and just haven't been getting run support because the offense has been abysmal. So finally getting them some much needed support.
Yeah, part of Rangers' brilliance the other night was he got some really good defense behind him, himself included, but Bohm made a really nice play. Harper made a really nice play. Rojas. Zach Wheeler is owed good defense and run support. So hopefully that stops real quick because, that's not good.
Here it is. He's the only pitcher in Major League. I know we had shared this too in our thread. That Zach Wheeler is the only pitcher in Major League Baseball history to start 0-3 despite a 3 ERA or better. 30-plus strikeouts through 4 starts. Only other pitchers to have done that and go winless. Nolan Ryan back in 78, who was 0-1. Pedro Martinez, who was 0-2 in 94. In 2017, Jacob deGrom, 0-1. And Dylan Bundy, who's 0-2 in 2018. Zach Wheeler's been
not company you want to be in.
No.
Because it means you're doing your job and just getting zero help.
Zero. Bagels.
Bagels and co. By the way, I wanted to mention for the people in here, May 10th, we're doing a watch party.
Yes.
Out in Manayunk, at one of my old stomping grounds back when I lived in that area, at the Manayunk Brew Pub. We're going to do a watch-along party. We're going to have some ticket giveaways for Phillies. We're going to have some Miller Lite specials. We've already had a great amount of people RSVP. I think we're already north of 30. So the more of you that can make it, the more high fives and hugs we can give out. We'd love to meet all of you, especially you diehard sickos. We love you. So May 10th, if you're able to make it, just RSVP on allPHLY.com under the events thing. And we'd love to see you. And hopefully you can win some Phillies tickets, and hopefully we'll have some stuff to give away and lots of high fives to give.
You're loving the high five.
Did you guys know I was supposed to get married there?
That's
Wow.
right. The flood,
Bad.
right?
Really bad.
I remember
Wow.
this. Yeah, it was one of the floods. They got wrecked because, they have that awesome balcony deck out on the river.
I didn't know that. I
And-
didn't know you then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I did.
wild.
Me and Tyler go back. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was an interesting time.
Yeah.
So we
I remember trying to help you scramble to find new places
really
and caterers
scrambled.
and everything.
But we walked
That's
in months
so
later when they
stressful.
reopened and everything was cool. And I don't know if you've been there, Renee. I'm not sure if you've ever
I
they
been
have
there
good
or not.
sushi there.
You know how they have on the wall different times that weather has impacted
Yeah,
them?
the marks.
And it's 2006, 2010, 2004, 2000, and then I'm like, wait, hold on, where is?
Oh, look
And
up.
it was in the ceiling, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's probably why.
Yikes.
It's a great spot. So hopefully, we
Amazing
can-
spot. You're
Yeah.
right. Great sushi there.
They have really good
Sushi.
sushi. Yeah. It's an awesome spot. So hopefully we can meet up with some of you May 10th, Friday night. I know a couple people in our diehard Discord channel said they're planning on coming and taking the train in.
I
You
love
can
it.
take the regional rail. It's probably a 7-minute walk from the train station to Manayunk Brew Pub. So hopefully we'll see you there. I'm personally going to Uber that night. So I can get in my
Ooh,
cups
look at
a little bit, be a real bad boy.
Living on the edge.
It's gonna be like a Friday night out for me. I
Gonna
don't
get a
get those.
DD.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have the girls drop me off and then Uber home,
That's actually not a bad idea.
and then
Yeah.
I'll just
Send you off
chug
to go
some
get
Miller Lights
lit.
responsibly.
I'm gonna download to become an Uber driver just to take Jamie's call and drive him home.
Yeah, that's
You know what
He's
I think would be
he's
an
gonna pay
awesome-
me to take
Here's
him
a
home.
free $1 billion idea.
Oh,
An Uber, but it has 2 people. They come and they drive your car home.
but do you want somebody driving your car?
Yeah, sure.
You don't care.
Yeah.
I'm weird about that. I
So
feel
they
like I
come
don't
and
like
pick you
people
up.
driving
They
my
drive
car.
your car home with you, so that way you only have to one-way ride.
Oh.
So you drive there,
Yes, you drive there.
and then
But
somebody
because
drives your
it's
car
free,
home.
then
Then the
they
Uber
can
comes
keep
with
going.
two people. Boom,
That's a
one hops
really good
out,
idea,
drives your
actually.
car home. Boom.
I'm sure for liability reasons they might not
Well,
love
there's
that.
probably a lot of loopholes in this.
You would
plan.
probably have
But-
to sign a waiver.
I was gonna say you
Probably
probably
have to do
when
a
you
lot of
sign up
things.
for the app, you have to
Yeah.
sign a waiver, okaying it. That's easy.
Who reads the fine print
yeah, you
anyway?
just click that box.
Accept terms. Yep. Scroll. Accept whatever.
That's not a bad idea though, because it is tough when you have to leave your car, come back and get it. That's messy.
That's what I'm saying.
Apparently, that's already a thing.
What?
Multiple people in the chat have said they already have that.
What? What is it called? Maybe you're on the wrong app.
What? I should have came up with that idea 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
Jamie, you're 10 years late.
Yeah.
Well, we do have other exciting things. So May 10th, we'll be down live. You guys can join us in person. May 1st, we're supposed to be doing a watch along here in studio where you guys can watch with us. As we get closer and closer to the London series, we are supposed to be doing some fun things around that. I know the London series and Wrexham's own. I never can say it. I
Rob
know.
McElhenney.
It's
From
just a
Penn's-
weird.
The pride
like-
of Pennsport.
I feel like his last name just doesn't make sense.
So he used to live,
logistically,
he grew up
but-
right on Dickinson Square Park, which I used to live 3 blocks from. He went to the prep and now he's incredibly famous.
And now
rich
he's
all that.
also put out a video promoting the fact that he helped bring the London series to fruition because he brought soccer to Wrexham and he's bringing baseball to London and whatever else. So Rob McElhenney had an interesting promo that was about 2 minutes too long, but it was different. It was different. So we will have some stuff specifically for us that we'll be doing around the
And
London
shout out
series.
to our England people who said we got Sam in England.
Yeah, we did with Sam's in the chat.
Is he?
But-
What up, Sam?
By the way, guys, I found it.
What's
This
the
is at least
app?
one. It's called idriveyourcar.com.
Well,
How it
sound
works.
legit.
Book your driver in
That sounds a
advance
little-
and set the time and place. Your chauffeur arrives 5 minutes early and awaits your command. Relax and let us drive you home. Relax on the ride home and leave the driving to us. Never leave your car behind. See your instant rate. See how much it would cost you, Jamie.
I wonder how much.
iDriveYourCar.com.
So it has to be more expensive than a one-way Uber ride, but less expensive than 2 Uber rides. You know what I mean? So they have
Correct.
to cut it in the middle there for it to be worthwhile for the customer.
So, like,
It's got 817 reviews and a 4.8 rating.
Oh, look at that. Is it local or national or what are we talking here? Anybody? Bueller?
Bueller.
Those people are pretty smart.
Bueller.
I wouldn't use it all the time, but occasionally, like,
Yeah, I think it doesn't look real though. Like this is kind of sketchy.
let me see.
Look,
What are we
like,
working
do you want this guy drive? Like this is,
Oh yeah, he's got a suit on.
yeah, I guess it's like a little chauffeur
all right,
action.
so if you were to go,
Does he wear one of those funny hats?
if you were to go
I
from
can't see his head's cut off.
from
That's a terrible
Manayunk
image.
to Ben Salem
Yeah.
to get me home, $50,
and an Uber
Oh.
would probably be what, 35 or 40?
And your car would be there.
and you wouldn't have to go back and get your car.
They only have professional drivers. Did you know that? Every driver is selectively recruited, extensively screened. We're basically doing an ad read for them right now. We don't get paid for this.
Yeah, you're welcome for stealing my idea before I had it. You
There's
bastards.
so many great ideas. Like there's the Shit Express. There's the
Excuse me?
iDriveYourCar.com. Remember we talked about that before?
The Shit Express?
When you can mail poop to somebody?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
we're
people have-
not doing this again.
No, but
We're not
the
doing
point of
this
why
again.
I bring it up is people have business plans for literally everything.
Yeah, so I saw a great prank the other day, and I looked it up, and I'm definitely going to send it to somebody. I just have to find the right friend or relative to send it to.
Okay.
It's $14.99, and it's a fake box that says sanitized and secondary sex toy company. So it arrives in your mailbox as a used sex toy that you bought on the secondary marketplace as a prank, and it says it in like big letters so you can't miss it.
Is
It's
the
like-
box empty? Like is there
it
anything actually
has
in there?
some. It usually has like a phallic shaped thing in there, so you can kind of see it. And I'm definitely sending that to one of my cousins or buddies.
Oh, that's
So yes, there's
gold.
literally a business model for everything out there, including fake
That's
secondary
hilarious.
sex toys.
Wow, if any of them want to
Imagine the
advertise
post
with
worker
us,
carrying that.
yeah, seriously,
You'd be laughing the
they'd
whole
be
time.
cracking up. I'm sure
Yeah.
they see their fair share of weird things they have to deliver. Very, very, very weird things
Yes.
they have to deliver.
I would like to be a postman. I think
Oh,
about
yes,
that sometimes.
Wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Like you just get to walk all day. You get to put in.
You get dogs chasing you.
Nah,
You have to park.
That's a cartoon
It depends on where
stereotype.
It depends on where though, because if you're a postman in
True.
the city, it's a little reckless. I've seen some stuff happen to
True.
postmen.
But
and
like
women.
my guy, he just walks the neighborhood, he parks, and he does like a big old.
Yeah, I think that's
there's
the-
hard work involved with it. It's not all like.
That's true.
It's not all like, but it's like you get to put in your headphones. You get to be outside on nice weather days.
They're
you
wearing
get to
shorts a
walk.
lot.
Yeah,
But yeah, wear
like,
sneakers
it
and
looks,
hats.
It looks kind of relaxing.
Yeah. Okay. I think if you're a post person in the right area, it could be good.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's a lot that are friendly with their with
Sure.
the neighbors
yeah.
and they're regulars. Just not in the city because they always have to like park illegally, and I always feel like someone's gonna jump into one of those trucks and like drive off. Like I'm waiting for that day to happen. Not that I'm speaking it into existence, but they just leave the keys in there and stuff.
You want to take it?
But every time I'm like, that looks so dangerous. You're
Sounds
just,
like you want to steal
and
a
people's
postal
mail
truck.
is just in there. Like
you want to steal a postal truck, don't you? You've thought
I'm
about
gonna be on the
this.
news.
Yeah.
PHLY is Renee Washington.
Wild
caught-
card bitches.
I'm like, woo! I did it. You're gonna see me like OJ riding down the highway with the cops chasing me. All right, so as we wrap up here, got some interesting things just to hit on some quick nuggets around Major League Baseball because there's been some other things. First things first, injuries continue plaguing some superstars and some other guys around the league. Aaron Judge is saying that his toe will never be the same after last year. He's doesn't feel like it'll ever get back to normal. He's been struggling, even though Juan Soto and the Yankees have been doing well. Aaron Judge is not feeling so great so far. Hasn't been off to such a good start in 2024. He did also have, his at-bats haven't been good. He hasn't been feeling as great. So he's struggling. Also, the Angels are dealing with an injury of their own. Robert Stevenson, another one, bites the dust, and another one. It's not a great song to sing for this because it's not a good situation. But Robert Stevenson is out with an elbow injury. Not good for the Angels. And just in general for Major League Baseball, that here we are again talking about another elbow injury, another
yeah, it's unbelievable.
another guy that's struggling.
Wanted the Phillies to get him too. You just said Stevenson.
Positive.
You just said Stevenson, right?
Robert Stevenson.
Yeah, we wanted him.
There's a few. I know in the chat somebody had brought up Blake Snell earlier. Listen, this is a reminder that the pitching staff in general is phenomenal, and we've dodged some bullets. That's for sure. A positive though for the Red Sox, they have the best
team ERA. What is going on up
Tanner
there?
Houck of the Red Sox became the first Major League Baseball pitcher to have a Maddox. He had 9+ strikeouts and under 100 pitches. Also pitched a complete game shutout as the Red Sox beat Cleveland 2-0 last night. So he pulled the Greg Maddux himself. And he's the first to do it since Greg Maddux did it in August of 1995.
Yeah,
there you go.
The Red Sox have the best team ERA in baseball from starters. They have a 1.85 ERA amongst their starters, which is absolutely wild because most people thought the Red Sox were going to really, really suck this year, and everybody's answering the bell up there. Kansas City second, and then Phillies are third, obviously. So pretty wild out of Boston.
Yeah. And then also one last thing, because I know Craig Kimber was brought up in the chat and in the conversation with Jim. He is actually doing pretty well with the Orioles. The Orioles as a whole, though, are doing really well. Their walk-off win Wednesday marked they became the first team to hit at least 3 homers in 5 straight games since the Braves did it back in 2022. I don't know if they had any home runs yesterday in their win over the Twins. I didn't look that far into it. But the Baltimore Orioles are looking pretty good to start off the season so far. They're 12-6. They have been beaten, so it's not like they're running through everybody. But I feel like their overall performances, the numbers, the stats, the players, they're a team to watch. They're a team to watch for sure.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. And their AAA team is pretty loaded.
Yeah, indeed. So that'll do it for us here, though. We are going to be back tomorrow to close out the week with a post-game show. Currently, is this our first post-game show that doesn't have rain in the forecast? Am I seeing this?
You just jinxed us. Thank
No, I did
you.
not.
You're getting a nor'easter
No, I did
tomorrow.
not. It's not going to rain tomorrow, guys. It's a high of 63, a low of 44. It is an overcast, some clouds, but no rain.
No, I don't see any rain on the schedule until next Wednesday. On the schedule, I said. On the forecast. So hopefully we're good.
I feel like we're good. We're good. This is fine. Everything's good. This is fine. So we will be back post-game tomorrow. It is a 6:40 game start, so we'll be jumping on live towards the end of the game, probably around the 9th inning, that you guys can join us, and we'll talk through the game and hopefully a nice win over the White Sox. #FreeHerb, #don't free him yet. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to another edition of PHLY Phillies podcast. We had Jim on today. We'll have John on with us tomorrow, also post-game to give us some insight.
Oh, wait, no, not in studio. I'm from the ballpark.
Yeah, so he'll be joining us from the ballpark with some post-game insight from Rob Thompson's quotes and presser. And we'll be back for more fun. So make sure you're checking out the details for our May 10th events. Get signed up, get registered. It is free, but you can sign up and should sign up so that we have all your information, because we love to have all your information. But more importantly, so we can have you locked in for numbers. That's the main reason, to be honest. And we'll be back with more updates on events, more shows, more articles, more things coming your way. So for Tyler, Jamie, Jim, myself, Renee, the Blue Man crew, and the Blue Woman crew, have a great rest of your Thursday. Enjoy this day off from Phillies games.
I just blew myself, Michael.
Oh, no.
It's a TV show. It's not a movie. It's okay.
There's
got to be a better way to say that. And the character's name is Tobias.
That's a great hint, but I didn't watch this show, I don't think.
Arrested Development.
Oh, I did watch that
when
show.
When he paints himself up as the blue Dr. Tobias Funke.
The old man.
No, he's what's the actor's name? David I'm blanking.
This is Jason Bateman's Arrested Development.
Jason Bateman is talking to Dr. Tobias, who's married to Portia de Rossi. What the hell's his name? I listen to him all the time. Anyway, he paints himself up as Blue Man Group. And he says, I blew myself, Michael. And Jason Bateman looks at him and he goes, there's got to be a better way to say that.
That's such a weird show.
Very weird. Very funny.
Such a weird show. Bizarre. But this is not a weird show. Thank you guys for hanging with us. It's been a fun day with you. Dave, Philly, 007, Spiral Out, John, Sam from England, Barbara, everybody in the chat. Have a terrific Thursday. We'll see you back tomorrow post-game for more PHLY Phillies podcast. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.